To discuss, let's bring in attorney Terry Austin. And Terry, I guess every American who woke up today to this headline from New Zealand was probably wondering how come New Zealand is able to change its gun laws within just 3 days after one mass shooting.
That's a very good question, and there are several reasons for that. I think the biggest reason is the fact that New Zealand is a much smaller country. Of course, we have 50 states here. They have about 4.5 million people. We have 326 million. So it's a different size of country, obviously, and the population is homogeneous. I think also as a primary reason, New Zealand does not have a constitutional right to bear arms as we do here. As you know, we have a Second Amendment right, and that makes a big difference. So the mindset is a bit different there. And also, the legislative action is much quicker there than it is here. It's a process here that would take months and months, and if not years, to make a difference. And there they're able to move the legislation through quite a bit faster. And then I think finally, you know, you have a prime minister in New Zealand who really was compassionate about the issue. She not only said we are going to have swift and massive gun control laws, but she also said she was going to look into social media to make sure that there is nothing there that's enhancing these mass shootings. And she also said to set aside time to pray for these individuals and to remember the 50 people who were killed. So I think there are a number of differences there which made it a lot easier to pass these gun laws very swiftly.
And Terry, as you said, I mean, in New Zealand, the Senate there is representative of the composition of the population, whereas here in the United States, our Senate is representative of 2 senators for every state. So smaller states have the same sort of authority in the U.S. Senate as, say, large states. I wonder if all this speaks to perhaps some of the frustrations that so many Americans have with our own system, and that is there is this ability of smaller interests in the United States to gum up what might be the majority will of the people.
Well, that's exactly right. And the bigger interest here is, of course, the NRA. And that's another factor, I think, on why the prime minister was able to do this swift gun control. There is an NRA in New Zealand, but they don't have the lobbying power. And here, where the jurisdictions have NRA that back each of the representatives and back that particular jurisdiction, it's going to be a lot harder to get gun laws passed. And we have, again, the 50 states, and each of them tries to control what goes on in that state. I will say, however, that Trump has stated that he will be passing some laws. They are not as sweeping as New Zealand. And, you know, just recently in December, he banned bump stocks, and that's going into effect in March now. And he also passed an act that said that we'll be doing more extensive background checks. And I think those 2 things will help. But I think the huge reformation that was done in New Zealand is what will make the difference. The banning on these assault weapons will make the huge difference.
Attorney Terry Austin. Terry, thank you.